Welcome back. Well, November is American Diabetes Month, and today is actually World Diabetes Day. So whether you're living with diabetes, maybe you know someone that you're taking care of that has it, obviously is becoming much more pervasive in our society. So today, we've got a couple of very special guests join us to talk about World Diabetes Day. And today is the color blue, which you told me, Veronica, so thank you.
Yes, Veronica, aka Janine Larson.
So talk about why you guys are both so passionate about talking about and helping with diabetes.
Well, yes, November is Diabetes Awareness Month, and today is the special day to celebrate and honor those who have diabetes. As you know, you probably know someone, a friend, family member, colleague who has diabetes. And so today, the blue symbol, a little bit of background, that circle is for unity. And so the United Nations came up with this to help around the world to bring awareness to this difficult disease, type 1 and type 2 diabetes. And so today's the day to honor all those people who have it.
So let's talk about the distinction, because you hear a lot about type 1 versus type 2, but sometimes it can get murky if you're not living with it or dealing with it. So what is the distinction?
Yeah, so type 1 diabetes is when your pancreas doesn't produce insulin. And so a lot of the times people will either, with type 1 diabetes, have to do shots or have an insulin pump and give themselves insulin, and it's non-curable. And then type 2 diabetes is, a lot of times people will call it onset diabetes, and then this is managed by either medication, healthy eating, exercise. Sometimes it's also preventable, so if you can prevent it, your life will be a lot easier.
And once I get type 2, though, I also can still get rid of type 2, correct?
Sometimes, yes.
Okay, nice. Do either one of you deal with diabetes personally, or do you have family members, or?
Yeah, I have type 1 diabetes.
Oh.
I've had it since I was 1 year old.
Wow.
So it's been a lifelong battle for me.
So talk about that a little bit, because I don't think people sometimes, if you're not dealing with it, can appreciate, because you've got to be, correct me if I'm wrong, but checking your blood all the time and doing certain things to make sure that it's within certain parameters, right?
Yeah, definitely. I think a lot of the times there's that misconception that it only really deals with sugar, but it's also like stress, anxiety, different, if you have like a big event going on, the stress of that can make my blood sugar spike, or quite the opposite. So I'm getting married to my fiance, who also has type 1 diabetes. Met him at Camp Sue, which is something that we raise awareness for constantly. But I went dress shopping, and the anxiety from that shot my blood sugar up super high. And then after I found my dress, 30 minutes later, my blood sugar just bottomed out. So it's not always due to just sugar.
So when you go through an episode like that, is there something you need to do to help mitigate that, or what do you do?
Yeah, so when your blood sugar is too high, you don't have enough insulin in your body, and then when it's too low, you have too much insulin in the body. So when it's high, you take more insulin, or when it's low, you have to then intake sugar.
And that's where you prick yourself to figure out where it's at, and then...
Correct, yep.
Wow. I mean, how much, is it something that's always pervasive on your mind?
It has to be, yes. There's not a second where I'm not thinking about it. Yeah.
It's got to be a heavy weight.
It is. Depression runs quite high within people with diabetes, just because of the constant anxiety of having to get your blood sugars down and in that specific range.
Wow. How about for you? Do you have just family that?
So my only brother has type 1 diabetes and was diagnosed when he was 13. And it's a part-time job. It's a full-time job for those who have diabetes. You have to manage it all day if you want to be able to work, if you want to be able to live your life and to have fun. You always have to be managing it. And so it's so prevalent, and it is such a difficult disease. And so that's why we want to bring awareness. There's actually a website, I think we have an image that you can go to, diabetes.org/risk-test. It's a 1-minute survey you can take to see if you are at risk for developing diabetes. A lot of times when those symptoms come, it's too late, where you, with that prediabetes, then turns into that type 2 diabetes. And so taking this 1-minute risk test can really help.
Are we any closer to a cure for type 1, or?
No.
We're not, but that's why we're really trying to help bring that awareness. But they've had so many more advances with pumps, insulin pumps that look like little pagers that people wear on them. And she has hers right here. And so that connects to her. And so instead of having to carry around needles like they used to have to do, it's so much easier to be able to manage. That pump stores all of her numbers so she can see when she was high, when she was low, how much she gave herself, what her levels are. So they have so many more advances while they're still working towards that cure.
So does that thing like give you a little alert if you need it or something? Or not?
Yep, I have a sensor, which is an extra insert on top of the pump, and I can set it to alert me when I get past a certain level or under a certain level.
Just from an ignorant question, if you don't get the appropriate amount of insulin, I mean, can you die from that or?
Yes, yep.
Wow.
If it gets too high, that can lead to coma and death, and then same when it's too low. A lot of times seizures are also related to low blood sugars.
Thanks for being here. We appreciate it.
Yes, and
Thanks for
really
having
me.
quick,
So much,
we
yeah.
have an event coming up this weekend to raise awareness. There is a bike ride at Cycle Bar in West
that's
Fargo.
right.
$25 to help raise awareness. We're really trying to help send kids to Camp Sue, which is a camp for kids with diabetes. And so this Saturday, 10 a.m., all proceeds will go to help kids with Camp Sue, which is where she went to camp.
I was just going to say, Camp Sue, matchmakers make me. Thanks,
Yes.
you guys. Appreciate
Thank
you
you.
being here. All right, stick around. We got a lot more coming up right after this.